Hello and welcome back to Lorcana Villain. My name is Baker, and today we're going to be taking a look at some more new cards coming in the next Lorcana set, Ursula's Return. Your boy's absolutely shattered. Last night I was invited onto a podcast with fellow content creator Ybreezy, who, if you're active on Twitter, you've probably heard of. One of the biggest personalities, one of the nicest guys in the game. He's been running a show called Lorcana After Dark twice a week for quite a while now, although he's just been recently joined by Knive the Nerd as a co-host. And we've been trying to make it work for weeks and weeks, and man's been very patient. But yeah, last night I stayed up to be a guest on his show. It started at like 2:30 in the morning my time, but it was well worth it. It was great to have a chat with him. That will be linked down below in case you want to go check that out. So forgive me if I appear a little disheveled, working hard getting these card reviews done and reviewing stitches. This video will come out on Saturday the 27th, and then I'll probably take Sunday off, and then Monday will be the next Stitch Decks video. Potentially the last Stitch Decks video. I may do one more after that because I believe there'll be one more day or 2 more days of actual set championships. So it'll be one or two more. But the cards are dropping like wildfire, and we have just been introduced another new mechanic. When we looked at reveals the other day, we looked at the new way of shifting by discarding cards. We also saw the introduction of team up or tag team characters. We got the Flotsam and Jetsam, who count as having both the names Flotsam and Jetsam. So speculation of characters that we're going to get, more characters that we're going to get in this set and future sets that are tag teams. Who do you most want to see? Let me know in the comments. But they just went ahead and dropped another new mechanic on us, revealed by the Gamer. Dropped a whole bunch of new song cards with the sing together keyword. Now, this is something that a lot of Lorcanas have been speculating for a while, that we were going to get ways of singing with multiple characters. I expected it would be called either chorus or duet, but no, it is officially called sing together. Any number of your or your teammates' characters with total cost 10 or more can exert to sing this song for free. Obviously, they're not all 10, they all have their different costs. But yes, we can now exert multiple characters to sing a song with sing together, and showing some love to multi-person games if we are playing with a partner against a team of 2, then we can use their characters as well to help sing our songs. And these are gonna, I said when we looked at the new shift mechanic cards that I felt like they were gonna be quite game changing, especially more so in combination with steel, so you can play the whole new world, because obviously discarding cards to shift is like getting rid, is really minusing yourself in card advantage. But if we're playing it with wheel, then we don't really care about that anymore. But yeah, I do think it's going to warp our meta, but this is absolutely going to warp our meta. Some of these sing together cards more so than others, but just the concept in general, future sets giving us more of these, because now, yeah, like I said, we can use multiple characters to sing these powerful songs. Amber in particular is going to benefit from this so much with all its singer keyword characters. I really hope other inks start to get singers, because it is right that Amber is the colour that benefits the most from songs. That's fine, but I want to see some singer keywords in other inks. But yeah, Amber in particular obviously has a lot of ways of singing cheap. Ballroom Sensation Cinderella is a 1-drop with Singer 3. They've got Sebastian and Bianca that are 2-drops with Singer 4. There's Ariel and Gaston, who are Singer 5s, and the list goes on. And we're going to look today at another Ariel with Singer 7, which I wasn't that crazy about. Like, everyone was saying, oh my god, we can sing Be Prepared with this. That sounds like terrible value, playing Ariel on turn 4 and then turn 5 singing Be Prepared. Unless you are only specifically against aggro. Any other time, that sounds bad. But with these new Sing Together songs, that does make her better. So let's look at the first one. We've got Second Star to the right, beautiful art, just more and more songs where we're getting different lines of the songs as well, which I think is a great touch. But yeah, this is Sing Together 10, uninkable. Chosen player draws 5 cards. Lead us to the land we dream of. Oh, absolutely. A part of me feels like this is bait. I'm not going to lie. But I feel like it's at least a 1 of. I'm not going to lie. Immediately, I feel like I would try this at a 1, because it's perfectly reasonable to have a field of Goat Rabbit Kuzco, or Goat Rabbit snake or something along those lines, or even if we've got like a Tremaine and a goat and a rabbit or something like that, then we're already singing this. That is not a hard cost to fulfill. So I think this is really good. I do. Again, there's a part of me that feels like it's bait because, again, it's such a bad top deck if you don't have an established board. It's sort of situational, but I feel like the situation isn't that hard to achieve, and drawing 5 cards is just. Drawing cards as king, if you didn't know. Yeah, I think this is really good. I think it's only a 1 or maybe a 2 of. Depends on the maths we can do, and again, just this whole concept of having sing together characters. Now, like, shifting is even more important. Like, it's always been relevant to shift before turn 5 to sing 5-cost songs, like the common ones like Grab Your Swords, A Whole New World. In Chapter 1, 7 was relevant. You don't see as many characters actually singing the Be Prepared these days because they're not really playing 7 drops. You do see it sometimes with Maleficents or Scars. But yeah, those were 2 important numbers, being able to sing 5-cost songs and 7-cost songs. Now, it's just a matter of, okay, well, how close are we to the math we need to sing this Sing Together song? So, like I said the other day, like, we got our first 6-cost song, The Treasures Untold. I was like, okay, it's time to go back and have a look at all our characters that can shift on 3 or 4 into a 6-cost character, because now if we've got songs we can take advantage of, they're worth another look. They may become more valuable, and they're just with Sing Together, they're automatically becoming more valuable just because, again, if it's a way that we can quickly get up to a character of a high cost, and then that next to a 2, 3, 4 cost, whatever it is getting this big song off, then the payoff for that can be absolutely incredible. So yeah, this is a mad keyword that is going to change our game, and yeah, this is, I think, even uninkable 10 cost it's still perfectly reasonable to get this off, and drawing 5 cards is amazing. And hey, if you're playing Chernobog or Goofy Night in Training, just do a solo act, why not? But yeah, incredible. Should have started with this, actually, worth pointing out. Obviously, when we think about these Sing Together songs, we think about Ursa Deceiver of All and her ability to re-sing songs, which is obviously kind of mad. Now, we're all assuming that is fine to do. If one of the characters that you have singing one of these Sing Together songs is Ursa Deceiver of All, then if she's involved in the singing, then her ability will trigger where it puts the song on the bottom. You sing the song again for free, and it goes to, instead of the discard, it goes to the bottom of your deck. Now, we've had it confirmed, and this makes sense. If you was to have 2 Ursa Deceiver of Alls, so that's 6 cost that you can sing, and then maybe something else to get you up to the like another 4 drop to get you up to the 10 cost, whatever it is, to sing a second star to the right, you wouldn't be able to sing it twice, because once the first Ursula had resolved, that song card would go back to the bottom of the deck, so your second Ursula Deceiver of All no longer has a target to sing again. So you are capped at 2, but again, we're assuming that this is how it works. However, this is an official statement from the Lorcana Discord, from the devs. Sing Together is a new mechanic in set 4, as these are unreleased cards. Sing Together is a new mechanic in set 4. As these are unreleased cards, I'm going to politely ask that we wait until the CRD Comprehensive Rules document updates come out. I can say there will be an update, but the time frame is flexible right now. We were aware this mechanic would cause quite the buzz. It will be addressed all in due time. Now, the fact that they've said this makes me wonder if there's more to it, and there's something that we don't know, or something that isn't going to work precisely how we think. Because my assumption would just be, if it works how we're all assuming, why would you not just confirm that? But I may be wrong, they may just want to get out of that habit and stop revealing information that way, and always give the team a chance to actually like word it right and get it into the document. So it may be that it does work like that, but they just want us to go via the document as opposed to their responses. Who knows, but I'm assuming that is how it works, and if it is, then Ursula stonks. Let's move on to another one. We're not safe until he's dead. He'll come stalking us at night, set to satisfy our sacrifice our children to his monstrous appetite. He'll wreak havoc on our village if we let him run the free. So it's time to take some action, boys. It's time to follow me. Absolutely love this song. I always thought it was kind of weird that the first bit of the text we got from the mob song was grab your swords. It's such a random line in the song, but now we have the actual name of the song. Incredible artwork. This is beautiful. 10 cost, uninkable. Deal 3 damage to up to 3 chosen characters and or locations. So this doesn't stack. You can't do 3 damage to one character and then another 3 to the same character. You can't stack it like that. It's a straight 3 across all the characters, well, up to 3 chosen characters and or locations. So 3 locations, 2 characters in a location, 2 locations and a character, anything like that, or less because it's up to. So again, steel, we're very used to steel being paired with amber, so this is likely going to benefit from the amber singers. So yeah, a couple of aerials you're singing this. An aerial and a Gaston with Singer 5, or there's the 4-drop Cinderella that has Singer 5 as well. I think it's a 4-drop. So yeah, this is quite easily attainable, and suddenly all that math that we've done in the past where it was like, okay, this lives a grab your swords, or maybe even this lives a grab your swords plus Tink. Now mob song or mob song plus Tink we have to worry about. So yeah, this looks pretty good. Yeah, I imagine it sees play. It probably starts as a tentative 1-drop, and we'll have to see just how good it is. I'm not sure, like, the uninkable sing together songs, I think are 1 or 2 obs, if any. But yeah, this does sound pretty good, but we'll have to wait to see the extent of just how good exactly. The seaweed is always greener on somebody else's lake. You dream about going up there, but that is a big mistake. Just look at the world around you, right there on the ocean floor. Such wonderful things around you. What more is you looking for? Under the sea, under the sea. Darling, it's better down where it's wetter. Take it from me. Up on the shore they work all day, out in the sun they slave away, while we devoting full time to floating under the sea. Sorry, but this is a classic, right? This is a classic. We had to give it a little bit more. But yeah, we've got Under the Sea, 8 cost, uninkable. Put all opposing characters with 2 strength or less on the bottom of their player's deck in any order. So yeah, again, 8 cost, not that hard to fulfill. Couple of 4s, 2 3s and a 2. Like, you can get this off by turn 5 easily. And again, if we're paired with amber, then even easier. Interesting interaction with this is we have the legendary Kida, who, when she is played, all characters on the field, their strength becomes 0, or is it -5? Oh, it's -3. I was very wrong. But nonetheless, with a -3, that's pretty good odds that a lot of characters are now going to only have 2 strength or less. So there are worlds where you're then just bouncing their entire board back to the bottom of the deck. Worth bearing in mind that Amethyst players aren't always going to hate this because there's going to be rabbits and goats and things like that, but you're still upsetting their board tempo. Yeah, I quite like this, and the funny thing about this is a quote from Lorcana deck lists. I'll give them credit for this. Is that the idea is if we're going to play a lot of little characters to sing these big songs, then Under the Sea turns this as kind of into a self-regulating meta, because your opponent's building up these board of little characters to sing a big song, and then we're just popping them all back because we assume most of them to have 2 strength or less. Something that is an interesting interaction as well, though, which I think I'm the first to notice. I haven't seen anyone else mention it. But this is something that, so we talk about the Gaston, the baritone bully from Rise of Bloodborne with Singer 5. It's a 3 cost, inkable, 3/3 with Singer 5. So in a world where you're facing a deck that might have Under the Sea in it, Gaston is in some ways better than Ariel. Obviously, you're not getting the search that Ariel got, but you're out of range of this. So that's quite interesting, where like just the existence of cards like this in the meta can make something like vastly superior just because it goes under it. But yeah, I think this is a really interesting card, and I imagine it at least sees some testing. Next up for Sapphire, we've got 8 cost uninkable, dig a little deeper. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck, put 2 into your hand, put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. This is fantastic. I think this is a sure add for both Sapphire Steel and for Sapphire Ruby, because again, we're ramping anyway, so like even late game, like mid to late game, you can have perfectly enough-ing to even just pay for this. You don't even have to sing it. Like, it's quite reasonable. You could have 12, 13, 14, 15 ink in the last few turns. And at that point, you're probably quite a way through your deck anyway. And this is a 7-card dig to find 2 pieces. And is this finding you your dime, your bell? Like, these are combo decks anyway, especially Sapphire Steel. Well, red blue as well. But yeah, this is fantastic. And again, 8 is quite reasonable to be able to Tamatoa could sing this. Yeah, I think this is really good, a really deep dig. We are going +1, and it's any cards that we're putting into our hands, so yeah, I think this absolutely sees a ton of play. Another one that I think sees a ton of play for Amber is Look at This Family, another card representing the Madrigals from Encanto. 7 cost inkable, sing together 7. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. You may reveal up to 2 character cards and put them into your hand, but the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. So it's a Be Our Guest that digs 1 card deeper and gets you 1 extra card. And yeah, again, we're in Amber, so we have access to all those low-cost singers. So quite reasonably, turn 1 Ballroom Sensation Cinderella, turn 2 either Sebastian or Bianca with Singer 4, and then you're singing this on turn 3 and finding combo pieces, or just an Ariel and a 2-drop, or a Gaston and a 2-drop. This is going to be so easy to sing, and yeah, 5 cards is a pretty deep dig, and finding 2 character cards, whether it's the Rapunzel or whatever in combo you're paired with, whatever you may need, yeah, this absolutely will see a ton of play. Next up for Ruby, we've got A Pirate's Life. Love it. 6 cost inkable. Sing together 6. Each opponent loses 2 lore. You gain 2 lore. So this one's interesting. I'm not a big fan of cards that just gain lore and do nothing else. Like, things like Goat is fine because you're a body. So you're also a beat stick. And again, that can be bounced, and there's loads more utility to it. Obviously, Spellbook sees play. But I'm not a huge fan of Spellbook anyway. And, like, even when the only times I would want to play it is in the mirror, and that's really only because the game is slow and you can afford to play that later on in the game, and then you're triggering it every turn. But I don't know how I feel about this. Like, it's not doing anything to the board, it's just lore gain and denial. But that isn't insignificant. A lot of mirror matches in particular, like, end up being really close. And to be fair, like, it probably gives us a better aggro game, because quite often with aggro, like, when they beat you, they just beat you. Like, you were just taking full control of the board. They had no cards left in their hand. They topped a 2 or 3 lore character that you just couldn't exert, and they just made that final hurdle from 17 to 20 or 18 to 20. So in situations like this, I think cards like this will make all the difference. And again, you can sing it. It's okay. I'm not as crazy about this as I've been about the other Sing Together songs. But that doesn't mean I don't think it necessarily sees play. Again, if that ends up feeling the case against whatever next meta looks like, that control is just losing just because it was just a turn too late, and other than that it would have been fine, then maybe there is a world where this starts to see play. We'll see. And that's all of our Sing Together songs that we've got. That may be it for the set. There may be more to be revealed. What do you think, guys? Let me know down in the comments. Let's talk about this. Which ones are you the most excited for? How do you feel about the mechanic in general? But I'm very excited for it, man. Lorcana's getting better and better all the time. But we've got a lot more cards to go through, so let's carry on. Next up, one of the newest reveals. These will be in a bit of a random order that I review them. So this is one of the newest, and then I've still got a review like Croc and a few that came up before. Doesn't matter anyway. We've got an Amber action, 2 cost uninkable. Return a character card from your discard to your hand, then remove up to 2 damage from chosen character. So it's Hades. I mean, obviously other than the second part of the ability, but it's the first part of the ability that we care about so much more. I'm not crazy about this. I think you'd rather just play Hades. Again, if we're working in a deck that specifically wants to play a lot of actions with Emerald, then maybe this becomes your preference. difference, but other than that, nothing too crazy. And yeah, we got a bunch more of the Madrigals. We saw some of those right at the beginning of the set reveals for Ursa's Return. Those are some of the first cards that we saw from the set. And worth bearing in mind, actually, before we go through these Madrigals, we've already had revealed Mirabelle, who has Saving the Miracle. Whenever this character quests, your other Madrigal characters get +1 lore this turn. So there's something always worth bearing in mind when we're looking at the Madrigal family. But yeah, first up we've got Camilo, 4-cost Inkable. He's the prankster, 2/5, quest for 1, and many forms. At the start of your turn, you may choose one. Either this character gets +1 lore this turn, or this character gains Challenger 2 this turn. Interesting. Obviously, like, great to have for the Madrigal deck. If you know that you're going to be questing with Mirabelle, then this is already becoming a 2-lore quester, and then you, like, maybe it's nice and diverse. You start your turn, okay, is this an aggro questing turn, or is this a turn where I'm challenging the board? So I really like the diversity in this. I'm not sure the stats are quite good enough. We have to see how the Madrigal family works all together. I feel like it may be one of the better fun decks that we've seen. I mean, obviously, like, there was a lot of hype behind, not loads of hype, but obviously the 7 Dwarves, there was some people wondering, myself included, I am people, like, oh, these are going to be competitively viable, and obviously it's really worked out that it's only really Doc, and then sometimes you see Sleepy as an aggro character. Would the same be true of these Madrigals, or will they work a little bit better together? But yeah, I do like the diversity of this effect. Next up, we've got Isabela Madrigal, a Golden Child, 5-cost Inkable, 3/4, quest for 1. The theming of this cut of her is absolutely on point. Evasive, and then she's got Ladies First. During your turn, if no other character has quested this turn, this character gets +3 lore, so becoming a 4-lore quester on a 5-drop, which is really good. And then the second ability is Leave It to Me. Whenever this character quests, your other characters can't quest for the rest of this turn. The flavour of our spoilt brat here is just absolutely on form. I do like her though. I really like her song, and it's a very quick development for a character in the film, but it is sweet. I do like it. But yeah, the theming's on point. And yeah, I mean, a 4-lore quest, I mean, again, you're not questing with anything else for the turn, but maybe that's fine. Maybe the rest of your board are challenging and, like, dealing with opposing characters, and then this is the character that's questing for lore big. Yeah, I like her, and again, Evasive is always going to make her better, so yeah, interesting. Next up, we've got Pepa Madrigal, Weather Maker, 5-cost uninkable, 1/5, quest for 1, and it looks like rain. When you play this character, you may exert chosen opposing character. That character can't ready at the start of their next turn unless they're at a location. Some more beautiful flavour. Love this. Obviously, the only thing we really have like this that also includes the they can't ready at the start of the next turn part of the effect is Spirit of Winter Elsa from Chapter 1, who doesn't see really play anymore, although there's another Elsa to look at, a baby one, which may change that, who knows. But yeah, I really like this ability. Exerting characters is always strong, stopping them from re-readying, and again, I think you should assume 90% of the time they're not going to be at a location. Who knows, maybe next meta, there's a lot more locations around. But yeah, I think this is definitely an interesting one. Whether is it good enough when Pinocchio's right there? Again, Pinocchio doesn't have this second part of the ability, but he's just so much cheaper. I don't know. I think she's probably not good enough. But again, good for the Madrigal deck and great flavor. Also related to the Madrigal family, for Emerald, we have Vision Slab. 3-cost inkable item with 2 abilities. Danger Revealed. At the start of your turn, if an opposing character has damage, gain 1 lore. And Trapped. Damage counters can't be removed. I think the Trapped part, the most relevant meta card there is Rapunzel. So if you've got this down, they can't get the Rapunzel draw off, which is kind of cool. The lore gain, yeah, it's all right. And again, obviously if you're playing with steel, you've got access to chip damage, but you don't even have to be. You can just be the aggro deck that's just questing, and as they're challenging into you and taking out your characters, they're getting damaged. And if you're not doing ever any challenging, then those characters are just going to sit there. So maybe you're winning the race if you can get down a couple of these. It's going to be real bait for Benja. So for that reason, I'm not sure if it's worth it. The fact it's inkable helps. Because obviously you ink it against the item removal decks and potentially play it against the decks that we know don't have item removal. So it's interesting. I'm not a believer as of right now, but great art. And our last Madrigal card to look at for now, we have the location to house them all. We've got Casa Madrigal, Casita, 1 cost, inkable, 1 to move there, 6 willpower, and our home. In the middle of the street, our home. At the start of your turn, if you have a character here, gain 1 lore. I think this is pretty good. I think this is a very reasonable 1-drop, and then turn 2, play your 1-drop move here straight away. Again, it caps at 1, so you'd have to have multiple Casa Madrigals out to be gaining any more than 1. Yeah, it's okay. It definitely needs to be in a deck that already has other item synergy, like Purple Steel, my guys, with some John Silver. Sounds pretty good. And again, 6 willpower. Yeah, I think this is okay. I may be overhyping it, because there's no passive lore gain. I don't know. Yeah, I think definitely in decks where they benefit from being at locations anyway, so John Silver or more characters to do with that, then this becomes a lot better. So yeah, interesting, and just good to have the Casa Madrigal in the game. That's all the Madrigal stuff, but let's look at our other location. Oh boy, I do love me this one. We've got Ursula's Lair, Eye of the Storm. Second best lair in Lorcana. But this is an Amethyst card, 3 cost uninkable, 2 to move there, 6 willpower, 1 passive lore, and 2 abilities. We have Slippery Halls. Whenever a character is banished in a challenge while here, you may return them to your hand. And Seat of Power. Characters named Ursula get +1 lore while here. So in Amethyst already, obviously we've got the 7-drop and the 4-5 drop, the uninkable. I can't remember. There's another Ursula. And then there's obviously the Ursulas in Emerald. And we just had an Amber one revealed as well that we looked at the other day in her human form. And again, we're going to get lots more Ursulas as time goes on. But even just this Slippery Halls, I think, is a really good ability. Because again, you put this down on a turn where hopefully you can also then afford to immediately pay to move there. And then you're challenging and returning that character to your hand. Yeah, that's strong. Is the 2 to move there too much? Dunno. Although this card, I feel like definitely makes me want to retest Jim in RA. Like 4 castle, maybe 2 or 3 of these. I don't think that sounds awful. I don't know. I may be overthinking it. Yeah, it's an interesting card. It's definitely one that's going to see some play testing, and I love the art. Oh, my mistake. We have one more location to look at. The first of our Mulan cards that we'll look at now. We have for steel, the Wall, Border Fortress. 4 cost inkable, 2 to move there, 8 willpower, and protect the realm. While you have an exerted character here, your other locations can't be challenged. So we have a bodyguard, 4 locations, which is super interesting. I really wish this was just 1 to move here. I really do. I worry the 2... because it wasn't great to begin with, because again, it's only really doing anything if you've got other locations that you really want to protect. But I mean, like, Steel Purple uses to protect your Queen's Castle or your McDuck Manor. I don't know. I don't feel like it's going to immediately be great, but in the future, if we ever reach a really location-heavy meta, then it may become a response card. But yeah, very thematic, very cool. Alright, let's look at all of the new Mulan cards that we've got. We're still waiting for Mushu. I've got my fingers crossed for you, Mushu Report, that you'll get a reveal for that. And Shang Yu. Give me Shang Yu. Give me Shang Yu. I want him. But yeah, for steel, we've got Chien Po, Imperial Soldier, 5 cost inkable, 4/7, quest for 1, and bodyguard. Really like this. It's one of steel's only 5-drop bodyguards. There's the steel Prince John, or Little John, that we got in Inklands that gives resist and an extra lore to bodyguarders. So worth noting there. I think the main comparison really is to Maximus and Goofy from Amber, who are bodyguards. And I think if you were ever playing one of them, you would probably now play this as well, because it's out of range of Medusa and Along Came Zeus, and just this 7 willpower is nice and big and bulky. So I think this automatically becomes your 5-drop bodyguard of choice. Again, unless there's a reason why you really want the support on Maximus. But other than that, I think this outclasses them both. So yeah, good card. We've also got Chien Po, Imperial Advisor, 3-cost inkable, 0/5, quest for 1, and overly cautious. While this character has no damage, he gets +2 lore. You there, keep that fighting away from here. It is imperative that I write to the Emperor. I do like this character, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, this is interesting. 3-drop, and then if you assume that we don't take damage, then a 3-lore character, questing on turn 4. And what's interesting as well is sometimes they might just do 1 chip damage into him, and then go, oh, I don't need to finish you off of my other character because you're not doing anything anymore. Which might make it a really nice Rapunzel heal target, and then obviously you get this ability back online. So that's worth bearing in mind if you're playing with some Rapunzel or other healing. Obviously the fact that we've got no strength means that we're never equalizing the board when they're challenging into us, even if they have to like challenge into us with 2 characters. I don't know, it's alright. I feel like it's going to be pretty good in sealed. But as it stands, not high hopes, but again, some really on point theming. Next up, we've got Ling, Imperial Soldier. 3-cost, inkable, 3/3, quest for 1, and full of spirit. Your hero characters get +1 strength. I imagine this becomes relevant at some point, maybe sooner rather than later. Lots of heroes, just that +1 strength is going to fix maths in a lot of cases. So whatever we need to wait for the meta to take shape, and then if Steel can say, oh, if I play Ling, then suddenly I'm one-shotting this common meta threat. So yeah, get your play set of these. I imagine they become relevant. 2 more Mulan cards to look at. We've got Cri-Kee, Lucky Crickets. 5-cost inkable, 3/4, quests for 3, and spreading good fortune. When you play this character, your other characters get +3 strength this turn. Love it. This is crab to all of our guys. And questing for 3, I think this is pretty good. Does EA Tempo want to play this already? I feel like it kind of might. You know, it's we haven't seen a lot of Green Farsa for a while, but I feel like it's a pretty good Green Farsa addition as well. Yeah, I really like this. The +3 to all of our characters sounds really, really good. And questing for 3, and the 4 willpower really matters as well. This was just a 3/3. It's out of range of the mob song. Yeah, I really like this card. I imagine it at least sees some testing. How good it ends up being in the long run, I don't know, but I feel like there's a place for it. And our last Mulan-based card, and this is the one that I think probably has the best shot straight away of being relevant, for Ruby, go figure. Imperial Proclamation, 1-cost, inkable item, and call to the front. Whenever one of your characters challenges another character, you may pay 1 ink less for the next character you play this turn. So, for all intents and purposes, the way this reads, this should stack. So if you're able to challenge with 2 characters, you pay 2 less ink for the next character. If you challenge with 3, onwards and so forth. So this, I think this is really good. There's going to be lots of interactions here. There's going to be lots of math that this fixes to help you get out a character on a specific turn. Even to the point of you have to be careful. Assuming they got this down turn 1. If your opponent's playing Ruby and they've already got this down, on their turn 4, they could reasonably challenge with one of their characters they've already got on board into one of your characters. And then they're already dropping Maui and challenging into the other one. So that's going to change math and the way you might quest or just exert yourself. I'm very surprised Ruby got something like this, to be honest. I'm quite surprised. Yeah, I have not fully thought out this card's full potential, but potential there most certainly is. Works quite well with the Queen of Hearts as well. So if you play this on 2, on 1 or 2, then turn 3, then you play your Queen of Hearts, paying 2 for it. You challenge straight away with a rush, and then you're paying 1 less ink for a second one that you can put down on that same turn. So it's a good aggro response for red-purple or red-blue. Yeah, this looks really, really good to me. I'm quite surprised Ruby got this. And it's inkable, go figure. Yeah, good card. Last couple of cards to look at then. These are slightly older reveals, but I haven't looked at them yet. For Amethyst, we've got Tick-Tock, Ever-Present Pursuer, 6-cost inkable, 4/7, evasive, and one lore. That cursed beast liked the taste of me so well, he's followed me here ever since. Yeah, I really like this. It's out of range of Medusa and Zeus. And at present, how, like, outside of getting a Tremaine hit, which again, you can protect against Tremaine by just adding characters, or a B-Prep, or a Maleficent, which not all red decks are even playing, and again, that's not for another 3 turns after you put this down for a 6-drop. How are they dealing with this? Because, like, again, a lot of the RA decks are just... all they're really worried about is taking out the Stylish Surfer Mini, so they play the Stylish Surfer Mini, and with Crab we can hit 4. This is hard. This is going to be hard to hit, and this is going to be hard to achieve. And again, just worth mentioning one more time, 6 cost wasn't hugely... didn't matter much before because there aren't loads of 6 cost songs, but now with Sing Together, it's just that extra bit of math. Okay, this plus a fox or a goat or a rabbit, and we're singing second star to the right. So yeah, just the 6 cost is worth paying more attention to for its ability to sing more so than it ever was before. But yeah, I really like this. Again, it's only questing for 1, so it's not like it's racing huge. But yeah, it's like, how are you dealing with this easily without using one of your like bigger removal cards? So yeah, I quite like Tick-Tock. Next up, we've got Elsa, Storm Chaser, 3 cost uninkable, 1/4 quest for 1, and Tempest. Exert, chosen character gets Challenger 2 and Rush this turn. So worth bearing in mind, this is another potential shift target for our Elsa Spirit of Winter. There was already from Chapter 1 a 3 cost inkable Elsa, who is Deep Freeze, exert to exert a character. So we're uninkable, we're bulkier, we don't hit as hard, but that wasn't why you were playing that Elsa anyway. But yeah, instead we're Challenger 2 and Rush, which is certainly interesting, having this on the field. If you've already got this on the field and it's dry, then just knowing that you can put down any character and immediately give it Rush. We've already had access for a while to Pocket Watch, which fell off completely after Chapter 1. Very popular in Chapter 1, really important card in the meta in Chapter 1. But it's fallen off. So if you just want to be able to give Rush to things, I feel that that's better because it's inkable and items for some decks are harder to remove. But again, this is a body. It's a shift target for Elsa potentially, and also the Challenger 2 is far from insignificant. I dare say there's a place for this. We need to see how the meta shapes, but if this helps the purple decks deal with whatever other decks are doing and whatever characters we're running, like this Challenger 2 and Rush may be all we need. So yeah, one to keep an eye on. Get your playsets of this, I would say, as well. Last 2 cards then. For Emerald, we've got Jack, Connoisseur of Climbing. He's so cute, man. 3 cost inkable, 1/4, quest for 2, and Sneaky Idea. When you play this character, chosen opposing character gains Reckless during their next turn. I'm a big fan of this. Lyle Tiberius Rourke was already seeing some play. He's uninkable, which obviously is worse, but he also has the ability wherever one of your characters is banished, then the opponent loses a law, which obviously is quite unique and a really good ability. But I still kind of feel like this is better, just being inkable, giving Reckless just for playing it. It's not like Jasper where we had to was it Quest? Yeah, I think Quest. Yeah, I'm a big fan of this, and questing for 2, and this is a really perfectly respectable stat line. Yeah, big fan of this. Glad to see Jack in the game. Great art, love to see it. And the last one to look at, again, a bit of an older one. We've got Sisu, Emboldened Warrior, 3 cost inkable, 1/4, quest for 2, and Surge of Power. This character gets +1 strength for each card in opponent's hand. I really like this. I think being a 3-drop for quest for 2 is already quite needed in red decks. Obviously, we've already got Mini with Evasive, which is great, but obviously you don't need Evasive for this, but the 4 willpower is significant. And yeah, Surge of Power, like, I think it's quite reasonable. This could be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 strength. Yeah, I'm a big fan of this Sisu. I imagine there's a place for this in meta. And that is everything so far. I am caught up, although, again, I imagine before this video actually comes out, there'll have been a few more, but there's nothing wrong with that. But your boy needs to go to bed. But yeah, thanks for watching. I know these card review videos aren't quite as popular as like deck coverage, which is perfectly fine. Deck coverage is my main thing, but really grateful for those of you that do come out to listen to these reviews, listen to my takes, whether they be right or wrong. We appreciate you. And yeah, what do you guys think of the Sing sing together mechanic. What do you think are the most promising sing together cards? And of all the cards that we looked at today, are there any that I have underhyped that you think are better than I've given them credit for? What are you excited for? Let me know down below. But that's it from me for now. Thank you so much for watching. If you're brand new to the channel, please subscribe for all things Lorcana. Hit the like button to show your support, and we'll see you soon.